the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences 25th Annual Academy Awards.
The award for Best Direction, ladies and gentlemen, Marlon Brando. For direction, in New York, the winner is On the Waterfront, Eli Kazan.
George Cukor.
Ben-Hur.
Clint Eastwood.
James Cameron.
Woody Allen.
Ron Howard.
It's the Oscars. Good morning, guys. It's going to be fun, but it's raising an important conversation as well this year. Right now, the Government Agency for Workplace Discrimination is investigating charges that studios discriminate against female directors.
The Los Angeles Times first broke the story after getting a copy of a letter the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission sent to female directors last week. The commission has been requesting interviews so that they may learn more about the gender-related issues which you are facing in both the film and television industries.
At this year's Oscars, just 20% of the off-camera nominees are women, with some rallying around the hashtag #OscarsSoMale.
We have to fix this.
Actress Gina Davis says Hollywood has a problem behind the camera and on screen.
If I may be so honored to have all the female nominees in every category stand with me in this room tonight. The actors, Meryl, if you do it, everybody else will, come on. The filmmakers, the producers, the directors, the writers, the cinematographer, the composers, the songwriters, the designers. Come on.
Women have always been in the film industry. It all began in the 1900s. With the start of the film industry, most women worked jobs that were service-oriented. Businesswomen in 1923 listed 29 different jobs that women held, including typist, stenographer, and seamstress. Today, women have grown to adopt other roles in the film production industry, but there is still a gender gap.
Like a little closer. Come over and collapse a little bit closer.
In 2017, out of the top 500 domestic grossing films, women accounted for 21% of all directors, writers, executive producers, editors, and cinematographers. Women fared best as producers, followed by executive producers, directors, editors, writers, and cinematographers. Hollywood is largely a male-dominated industry, but not because there's a shortage of talented, well-trained women. In fact, the gender gap in college enrollment at top film schools is small. For example, females represent 51% of graduate students at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. So where do all these women go after they graduate? One reason may be an old boys club.
It originally started in Hollywood and it was mostly dominated by men. So I think that the foundation of it, where it came from, is just mostly been men throughout the years.
It's all about power, right? It's about who has power over the resources needed to create films. It's about who has power to mold the content and the creativity that we see in films. It's about who has the power to take films that are already made and bring them to audiences.
The directors and stars may get all the glory, but it's the studio moguls and the independent film distributors who really control the power.
In film, we call it a green lighter. The reason why you don't see a lot of films with women as directors or women-centered stories is because you don't have a lot of people that green light. I think it's something like 3% of green lighters are women. I don't even know how to address it, right? Like, you tear down the system. That's the only way you can address it.
It's just been that way. And it's just like, by trying to break that monotony, you're like upsetting everyone who's like, but it's been like this way forever. It's like, well, that's how they felt about slavery. And guess what? Everything's kind of okay right now. And it's it only took 400 years.
An overwhelming majority of film studio heads are white males, and the same is true for senior management. Networks like these typically wield influence and power to help others like them. Typically, women and minorities are overlooked because people who have the deciding factor are hiring people that look like them.
Part of it is instinctive. Like, I don't even think a lot of the men in charge who are like doing the hiring are even maybe thinking of it on a conscious level. I think it's just that you see people that look like you. You're like, oh, I'm a white male. This guy looks like a nice young white boy. Like, let's bring him on. Like, I see myself in him or whatever. I think it's a lot harder for like that kind of guy to look at like a young Latina and be like, yes, we can really like click on that level. You know, it's just like.
I think generally women are just discriminated against because there are a lot of stereotypes or assumptions that have existed for so long. I mean, maybe all of time, who knows?
It is about women in film, but it's not just about women in film. Because I think we have to look outside of ourselves into society and say women have not changed their position enough. And then that will mirror, when women in America do that, it'll mirror itself in the industry.
My fat God, and I'm a dude, and I
Sorry,
want
sorry.
dark colors to be special.
I can hear you.
We weren't talking about you.
And that's a cut on rehearsal. Okay, here's what I think. I feel like the light's a little off on her. I feel like if we bring up the fill, we can look into her eyes more, right? Maybe we bring up the fill to look into her eyes more, so it's not so moody. Thank you.
What a diva.
When I ask for an eye light, I mean bring in a goddamn eye light. Do you agree? Yep. Do you touch the one?
A lot of it is more like subtly, right? So it's like microaggressions. There's simple things like not giving me eye contact, right? I do a lot of my directing with a video partner, and my video partner is a 6 foot tall straight white man, right? But we work really well together. I love working with him, but a lot of times when we are working on set, I won't get addressed. Even though the call sheet says my director, Pam Lama, I won't be addressed, they'll address him, right? And so there's always eye contact, almost like I'm invisible and not there.
So why do you think women should be in the industry? Why is it necessary for women to be in the film production industry?
I think women should be in every industry. Women can sometimes have a different take on things, or a different way of looking at it, or a different way of... As I started to develop my own style, it is a very feminine style. It's important to have these different ways of shooting, or different ways of directing and producing, and sometimes that comes from you have a women's perspective on things.
You can't write a woman, so it's like a straight white man being like, what does a 20-something brunette do in New York City? It's like,
oh no, we have to find a woman of color to tell a woman of color story. Like, oh, yeah, like, what a shame. Yeah.
How many people go to the movies? How many people watch TV, watch Netflix, watch a commercial, watch an ad? The medium, film and television, has a very large impact. So if we're only hearing the voice of one race or one gender, if we only have 80% writers and directors and producers that are white men, you're only getting that perspective. That voice is being told to millions of people all over the world, and it's not reality.
You know, like, I know people say it over and over, but it's so true. It's that representation matters.
In high school, if you had asked me who my favorite directors were, I'd probably say Alfred Hitchcock and David Lynch and Quentin Tarantino, right? That's what I would have said in high school. And what are those? Those are all three white men. Seeing an industry where it's predominantly men and white men as a young girl, if you don't see anybody that looks like you that's doing these jobs, it's very hard to imagine that you could actually be doing these jobs, right?
I have an 11-year-old little daughter, and I feel like the more we get involved in this issue now, the more it will impact the future. So when my little daughter is older, then she'll have more of an opportunity to, if she ever wants to be a film director, because more women will be playing those roles.
So what do you think other women in the film production industry can do to help other women?
easy.
Ultimately, it's like we need to work together and avoid a lot of the pitfalls of like seeing each other as competitors for that one seat at the table. You know, for me, it's like we're building our own table.
For women to help other women is, first of all, hire other women. When you do need to hire somebody, just think about the fact that, have it in the back of your head that often women are not the ones that are being hired, so you should be the one that do it, right?
If you're someone who wants to see more women in film and behind the scenes in film, go watch movies made by women.
Go see their movies.
Supporting films and TV shows that are by women and women of color.
Pay for those movies. Yeah, go out and watch. Go pay for them. You know, it's like $3 on iTunes to like pay for a movie that cost $10 million.
So, what's your name and your film production role?
Okay, you're rolling?
Yeah, yeah.
Discrimination. And I catch someone at the very end of it. Come on.
Like, bootleg the ones made by men and pay for the ones made by women.